Today, I decided to take care of Amy and Yuri. When my husband, Ethan, came home, he was with his sister, Amy, and her daughter, Yuri. They had a lot of luggage with them. Ethan told me that from now on, we would live with them and support them. I couldn't believe it. How could he put his sister and niece before our daughter and me? I was furious. This was the last straw. What kind of husband prioritizes his sister over his own family? I decided that I had to do something about it. Let me tell you my story. My name is Amelia, and I've been married to Ethan for 5 years. We have a 4-year-old daughter named Luna. She's everything to us. Ethan and Luna are my world. But it seemed like Ethan didn't feel the same. One evening, I was cooking curry with Luna while waiting for Ethan to come home. Luna asked, "Mommy, when is Daddy coming back?" I told her I didn't know. Ethan was usually home by now, but it was already past 7:30 p.m., and there was no sign of him. I couldn't get a hold of him either. Luna said, "Mommy, I'm hungry," so I decided we would eat without him. After dinner, I cleaned up, and finally, Ethan came home. "Welcome back," I said, but then I saw Amy and Yuri standing next to him, carrying a lot of bags. I was shocked. "What's going on?" I asked. Ethan looked at me and said, "From today, we're taking care of Amy and Yuri." I couldn't believe it. Why didn't he tell me anything about this before? Take care of them? Why? What happened? I asked, still confused. He explained that Amy had a fight with her husband, and that's why she called him for help, but I was still upset. "How long are they going to stay?" I asked. "Our apartment is small, and we don't even have a spare room." Ethan wasn't bothered by any of it. He just said, "You can let them use your room." Ethan suggested, "You can move to Luna's room, then we'll have a free room for Amy and Yuri." What? I couldn't believe my ears. My husband expected me to just accept all of this without question. Why do I have to deal with it when we're the ones supporting them? I didn't understand at all. With a big smile, Ethan invited his sister and niece in and told them, "Feel free to make yourselves at home." They didn't even say sorry to intrude and just walked in, settled on the couch, and started watching TV. I pulled Ethan aside and whispered, "Are you out of your mind? Taking care of these two without warning? We don't have much room or money to spare, you know." Ethan sighed and looked annoyed. "Amy's struggling, and you're being so cold. Can't you at least help her out?" I was getting frustrated. It's not that I don't want them to stay for a while, but supporting them like this is too much. They should help with groceries. He looked at me like I was crazy. "You're so stingy. Amy's not working, so of course, she can't contribute." Calling me stingy? I shot back. "I don't care about your opinion. My precious sister is in trouble, and as the head of the house, I've decided to support her. You should just obey me." After that, he went back to playing games with Amy and Yuri. Meanwhile, the curry I had saved for tomorrow was completely eaten by Ethan and them. To make matters worse, I was yelled at by Ethan, "Make more nutritious meals for my niece." Had he ever cared about the nutrition of our daughter Luna's meals? It was clear that he cared more about his niece than his own family. Ethan completely sided with his sister, ignoring my feelings. Even worse, he called me a cheapskate for worrying about our finances. I wasn't asking for much. She couldn't help with food costs because she wasn't working, but that wasn't my problem. No matter how much they were struggling, we couldn't afford to take care of them for free forever. The next day, and the days after that, my husband only focused on spoiling his sister and niece. He barely paid any attention to me or our daughter. "Amy, I got the cake you wanted," Ethan said. "Oh, thanks, Ethan," Amy replied. "I saw some toys from Yuri's favorite cartoon on sale, so I bought them," he said, excited. The cake was just for his sister and niece, and of course, the toys were only for Yuri. Our daughter and his niece are about the same age, so it was obvious that Luna would also love some cake and toys, but I told myself to be patient. Once Amy and her husband made up, they would leave, and everything would go back to normal. I managed to hold back my anger, thinking it was just temporary. Then one day, my daughter asked, "Mom, does Dad like Yuri more than me?" I was shocked. She said, "He's always nice to Yuri, but he doesn't even respond when I try to talk to him." As she said this, Luna's eyes filled with tears. I didn't know what to say, so I just hugged her tightly. "Don't worry, he's your dad, Luna," I said, trying to comfort her. Though I calmed her down for now, I knew this couldn't continue. A few days later, I talked to Ethan. "You need to change your attitude. Luna feels left out. It's okay that you care about Yuri, but you need to spend time with Luna, too." He sighed. "Alright, it's such a hassle though." A hassle? Our child is Luna, not Yuri, I said. Fine, I'll pay attention to Luna, alright? He replied, but he didn't seem too sincere. Even though I talked to him about Luna's feelings, things didn't change. Luna would look at her dad, happily playing with Yuri, with sad eyes. It wasn't like my sister-in-law, Amy, was going to take care of our daughter. Ethan and Amy were always with Yuri, and I was the only one who paid attention to Luna. She still seemed lonely. A whole month passed living with Amy and Yuri, and my family was falling apart. We could barely make ends meet, no matter how much I cleaned. Our apartment was always messy because Amy and Yuri never helped clean up. Ethan continued to spoil his sister and niece, ignoring me and our daughter. I couldn't take it anymore. I finally confronted him. You've gone too far. I'm sick of this. Can you seriously think about our future? I asked. What's this all of a sudden? Ethan replied. I've been saying this over and over. Life is getting harder. And what are you going to do about Amy and her situation? Are you really going to say we're going to live together forever like this? I asked. What can we do? She's fighting with her husband, Ethan said. Then shouldn't she talk it out with him or get a divorce? It's been a month already. Luna and I are at our limit. Please, think about our feelings too, I said. I knew this topic would upset Ethan, but I had to do it, for Luna and for the future of our family. You know Luna loves you. She sees her dad being so nice to his niece. Of course, she's hurt. Please think about her feelings too, I added. But then Ethan shocked me with his response. Amy is my sister. She's like family to you too. How can you be so cold? Ethan said. Cold? Me? I was shocked by his words. It's not that I don't care about Amy and Yuri. I just need this situation to change. Ethan looked at me as if I was the bad guy. I've always thought you were cold-hearted. Amy's in trouble, and Yuri's lonely without her dad, so of course, I have to give them attention. You take care of Luna, so why can't you handle this too? He said. Wait a second, I replied. I'm taking care of all the household expenses. Why does Luna and I have to suffer like this? My salary is part of our family budget. Well, of course, Amy is my sister, which makes her your family too. Yet you're always saying cold things. Don't you feel embarrassed? Ethan shot back. Ethan shouted at me, blaming me for everything. He looked at me with cold eyes, making it clear that his sister and niece were more important to him than our daughter. Then, he said something that made me doubt my own ears. Amy wants to keep living here, so from now on, we'll be taking care of them. We're responsible for everything, food, clothing, and shelter, he said. In that moment, I felt like all my hope was gone. I was a fool to think he might understand if we talked. Our old life would never come back. I looked Ethan straight in the eyes and said, Fine, then let's get a divorce. He looked at me with a face I'd never seen before. He probably didn't even understand what I had just said. After a long silence, he stared at me in disbelief. Divorce? What the hell are you talking about? Are you kidding? He asked. Do you really think I joke about something like this? I replied. If you're going to ignore Maya and Luna's feelings, then I won't consider yours either. I'll make the best decision for Luna and for us to be happy. He clearly never expected me to bring up divorce. He looked at me in shock and scoffed. You're talking about divorce? You couldn't possibly raise Luna on your own, he said. Sure, single parenting is tough, but it's a lot better than continuing like this, I answered. Ethan said, if you're going that far, then go ahead and file for divorce. I'll even sign the papers. Just remember, if you change your mind later and decide you don't want a divorce after all, it'll be too late. Did you think I would back down? I replied. I took out the divorce papers I had already prepared and handed them to him with a pen. When he saw the divorce papers, he froze. He just stared at me and didn't make a move to fill them out. What's wrong? You're going to fill out the divorce papers, right? I asked. He hesitated. I pushed him to take the pen and fill them out. Come on, you said you would, didn't you? No, I was just joking, he stammered. A joke? After you said it was too late if I changed my mind later. You dared me to divorce you, and now you're too scared to go through with it? Pathetic, I said. Shut up, I'll fill it out, okay? He said angrily. He signed his part and handed the papers to me. There, I signed it. Happy now? Get out. You're annoying. I calmly replied, no, you're the one who's leaving. What? He said, clearly confused. Haven't you forgotten that this apartment is under my name? Ever since you started supporting your sister, Even with your contribution to our living expenses, it wasn't enough. I've been the one covering all the rent, I explained. Yet you still had the audacity to keep living here without any guilt? Are you stupid? Are you out of your mind? I yelled. Suddenly, a voice cried out from behind. Wait a minute, what's going on here? It was Amy, my sister-in-law. She ran up to Ethan and grabbed him by the collar. You said we could stay here forever, right? So you were lying? She demanded. Amy, no, this isn't, Ethan tried to explain. What do you mean, this isn't? I trusted you because I thought you would keep us here forever. I can't believe you're kicking us out, she shouted. I didn't think it would turn out like this either, Ethan said weakly. You can't even deal with your own wife, can you? I snapped. What did you say? Ethan asked, anger rising. I'd had enough of their bickering. I walked over and threw Amy and her children's things out the front door. Hey, wait, what do you think you're doing? Amy yelled as she approached me angrily. But now that I'd decided to divorce Ethan, I didn't feel any obligation to protect her. I wasn't throwing away my own things. I was getting rid of someone else's. Actually, you're trespassing. Can you leave as soon as possible? I said quietly. Amy froze, shivering at my tone, and stepped back. Hey, you don't have to throw out our stuff. And you, Ethan, I turned to my ex-husband, could you please leave us as well? I don't need either of you anymore. What kind of thing is that to say to your husband? Ethan asked, surprised. You're not my husband anymore, you're my ex-husband, I replied calmly. I never thought you were such a cold-hearted woman, he muttered. Well, that's too bad for you, I said. You've stepped on my landmine. If you find your sister and her child cuter than our own child, then why don't you three happily live together? Where are we supposed to go if we leave here? Are you really kicking us out? Amy asked. I don't care, do whatever you want, now get out. I'm going to call the cops if you don't leave. After they reluctantly left, I closed the door behind them. I probably wouldn't see them again. As I looked around the room, I noticed my daughter staring at me with a confused look. Mama, where did Daddy go? She asked. I'm sorry, Luna, do you think it's okay if it's just Mama and you from now on? I replied. My daughter hesitated for a moment, but then her smile returned. I'll be okay as long as Mama's here. I'm fine as long as I'm with you, she said, running up to me. I hugged her tightly. That's right, even without my husband, we would be fine. The two of us could still be happy. Later, I sent all their belongings to my husband's parents' house and explained the situation over the phone. It seems my husband and his sister's family had gone back to their parents' house, but they were disowned and kicked out by their furious parents. As a result, my ex-husband rented a small apartment where he now lives with his sister and niece. As a family of three, they probably wanted that, so I didn't care. I later found out that the reason my sister-in-law argued with her husband was because of her spending habits. Now, her husband is asking her to repay the money she spent, almost every day. My ex-husband has been sending me annoying texts like, I was wrong, so forgive me, I love you and Luna the most, I want us to be a family again. Of course, I didn't reply to any of them, and they were quickly deleted from my inbox. Luna doesn't want to see her dad at all, so we have no plans to meet him. I plan to move out of this place soon because it would be a problem if they came here. For my daughter, I want to give her all the love and everything she deserves, even without a father. I want her to live a happy life.